Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will rule your life and you will call it fate. Zara and her family came to the U.S. from Iraq to start a free new life. But they've forgotten one important thing. Real freedom doesn't come just by changing your location. It doesn't arrive with visa stamp. Because sometimes the human mind is trapped in chains made of false beliefs and fear.
Mom, do you remember we talked about that you cannot be on Thurston Timberline property? Okay?
This is Zara's story in Washington, where she had to fight to break those chains. And that fight put her at odds with her own parents. According to Carl Jung in social psychology, these chains are called inherited mental patterns, beliefs passed down from one generation to the next without ever being questioned. Join us as we explore the beauty of psychology and philosophy through this true story. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "We suffer not from events, but from our perception of them." On a fall afternoon in Washington, students at Timberline High School were heading home after a day of classes. Everything seemed normal, and Zara walked out with her boyfriend, but they had no idea that just a few steps away, her parents, and even her sister, were hiding behind the trees, waiting to strike.
That's the suspect or victim?
That's the guy that was hitting the girl. Hey, God bless you.
He did. He was trying to kill us.
In a flash, Zara's mother and father emerged in charge of both of them. Fury was written all over their faces, but it wasn't the kind of anger that comes from parental concern or responsibility. It was rooted in a mindset that saw a girl having a boyfriend as an unforgivable sin. In seconds, the safe space of school turned into a scene of fear and threat because they couldn't accept that their daughter was her own person. In many cultures, a child's personal choices are seen as a reflection of family honor. But instead of understanding, the reaction is often to suppress. This is the dark side of the unconscious. We don't see it, yet it controls our lives.
I want to speak with my wife. Let her go.
Do you understand these rights I've explained to you?
Zahra!
It's a yes or a no, okay?
Zahra, تعال هنا!
So everything's audio, video recorded, okay?
Okay.
Zara's father lunged at her boyfriend with fists full of rage. Then he turned to Zara, his hands wrapped tightly around her neck.
Okay, we're gonna walk to my car over here, okay? Hang on tight.
In Jungian psychology, this kind of violence reflects a control complex, often formed through deep cultural trauma, the refusal to accept that the world no longer bends to one's will and so. In evolutionary psychology, such sudden aggression is usually a reaction to feeling of losing control. For dogmatic individuals, a child's disobedience, especially a daughter's, is seen as a personal defeat. And at that point, the person experiences cognitive collapse, losing the ability to see the humanity in the other. But other students were screaming, and a brave citizen stepped in. They managed to hold the father off until the police arrived. At first glance, the incident might seem like a typical case of religious overreaction to a teenage relationship, but it raises a deeper question. Why would a family with such extreme beliefs choose a free country like the U.S. to live in? This is what's called the immigrant duality, living in a free society, but with a closed mindset to a gap that can tear families apart with cultural and emotional crises. In this case, against common expectation, the community stood up for the individual. Society drew a line between violence and justice.
Hop in for a sec.
The illusion of freedom. Nietzsche once said, "Many speak of freedom, but fear the freedom of others." But this street incident was only the tip of the iceberg. Something darker lay beneath. Jung called it the persona, the face we show the world, while hiding our true beliefs behind it. And soon, the truth behind that mask was revealed. The situation was far more serious than it first appeared. The police investigation uncovered a painful truth. Zara had reported domestic abuse to the police several times in the past, but this time, her fear ran deeper.
I want to speak with my daughter.
You're not speaking to anyone at the moment.
Just I want to speak with my daughter.
You will not speak to your daughter.
Why? This is my daughter over here. I want to let her to go take her mom to home.
Okay, well, we're investigating a criminal investigation right now.
Just let me to tell her to take her mom. Not like that. Just I tell her to go home. She will go home.
She told the police her parents planned to send her back to Iraq, to marry an older man against her will, and stay there forever. According to developmental psychology, adolescence is when people seek independence and form their identity. But in traditional families, this desire is often seen as a threat. And in that context, forced marriage becomes a way to regain control. That decision was completely at odds with the freedoms they themselves enjoyed in America. Was money involved? Unofficial evidence suggested it might be.
Which one is it? You can't help me right here. Like,
Okay.
this is not fair. Like, which one is it? Is it this one or is it that?
What are you asking?
Like, do I talk to my dad or can I talk to my sister? It has to be
Well-
one of them.
well, we
You're
just
not letting me any
Okay,
two.
we just gave you our word that you can talk to your dad, but you need to calm down for a second.
Carl Jung once said, "You denies a shadow, cast it upon others." And this is where the hypocrisy peaked. They wanted freedom for themselves, but captivity for their daughter under outdated traditions. This denial and distortion of reality is an unconscious defense mechanism. They were trying to hide their inner shadow, full of contradictions and old beliefs, and show only the persona that society might accept. Philosophy, this raises a fundamental conflict. Should tradition outweigh individual freedom? Jung believed that true life comes only through individuation, developing an independent, conscious self. But their family, Zara wasn't a person, she was an object. Zara's mother and sister were visibly upset and still on the scene, openly trying to change the narrative. Police officers attempted to keep the situation under control. Zara's sister, trying to defend her father, showed the officers a video, claiming it told a different story.
I need to see that.
Okay.
So can I see that?
Okay.
Can you
He
go?
was choking me. This dude,
But that's the point. He's already detained. Do you have anything that goes back?
because I arrived in that scene.
But a closer look revealed clear contradictions.
Did you not get a recording from everyone else? I don't know.
We did. And that, like I said, yours contradicts what they're saying. So I want to hear your side, right? We've gotten their statements, their recordings. Okay.
See, this person, I don't know why she's being, like, why she's in the scene. And why is he?
Yeah.
This wasn't just a simple incident. It was a window into the family's entire mindset, a mindset that rejected the truth and stood firm in defense of deep-rooted, self-serving beliefs. Zara was taken to the hospital with serious injuries, bruising around her neck, difficulty swallowing, and a loss of consciousness, all signs of what she had endured. But those injuries also told the story of her fight to break free from a belief system that held her captive. A teenager who stood up to parents who believed control over her was a sacred duty, a belief rooted in tradition, in total conflict with freedom and human rights. In reality, this was a form of psychological slavery, physical freedom, but no right to choose. The father was first released on a $150,000 bond. But once the mother's involvement came to light, she was arrested too. This time the stakes were higher, and $1 million for father. Both are now in custody, awaiting trial. But for Zara, this is not the end. She has to rebuild her life with both physical and emotional scars. This story raises powerful questions. How do we balance respect for culture with protection of individual rights? Is freedom just a word or a way of life that we must fight for? The Stoic philosophers say, freedom begins on the inside, not outside.